There you go.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning,
Morning.
Seth.
Wow, it's September 2nd already. Gee.
Yes.
An elderly couple had dinner at another couple's house, and after eating, the wives left the table and went to the kitchen. The two gentlemen were talking, and one said, "Last night we went to one of these new restaurants, and it was a really great. I would recommend it very highly." The other man said, "What was the name of the restaurant?" The first man thought, and finally said, what's the name of a flower? Can you give me the name of a flower? And the other guy said, "How about Rose?" No, 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 no. Oh, that's right, Rose. It's Rose. Hey, Rose, what restaurant did we go to last night? All right. We're getting there, folks.
Some of us are there.
uh, Tip of the day. How about this one? Silence unknown callers.
Oh.
We all get all these scam phone calls all the time. And there's a way to silence everybody that's not in your contacts list. That kind of makes sense to everybody. I'm going to switch the screens here. It will put me. Everybody see two pictures of phones there?
Yep.
Yeah.
I have both my phones up there right now. So if you want to silence unknown callers that are coming to you that you don't recognize, in other words, you don't have them in your contact list. Now, this doesn't mean it's going to hang up on them. It's just it'll go directly to leave a message. And you go to settings, you scroll down to where it says phone in your settings menu. That's quite a ways down the menu there. Passwords, mail, contacts, that group says phone, tap phone. And there should be an option there for silence unknown callers.
Way at the bottom.
Clear toward the bottom, right? Right. That's it. So once you've done that, your phone won't ring. Now, instead of being interrupted by calls from unknown numbers, your phone will direct those callers to your voicemail.
Okay.
All right.
Then,
And since that was the
then do you
phone,
have to delete them from your voicemail?
yes, they come up with voicemail, you go to delete them.
That's a
Some
good
people
tip.
don't leave a message though, so it's just a, right? If, I mean, they won't leave a message.
Most of the scam phone calls don't even leave a message.
Right.
They don't.
And most of the
I've
real
had that.
scam,
I have that experience a lot.
yeah.
I'm going to mute everybody. Today we're going to talk about the camera. I'm just going to open the camera app. Now, on the right-hand screen, I have an iPhone 12. On the left hand of the screen, I have an iPhone 10. Okay. And I just want to cover a couple of basic settings first. I'm not going to cover all the settings there. It gets a little too complicated. So I go to settings and I go down to where it says camera. That's in the group that's headed by music. Okay. And what I'd like all of you to do is turn on scan QR codes. And you see where it says preserve settings? Tap that arrow and say on my iPhone, it says live photo. I have that turned on. And I have it, that's the only one I have turned on both of my iPhones there.
Where did you
Now,
get to this page? Where did you get to this
I
page?
was in settings,
Right.
camera,
Uh-huh.
preserve settings.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Mhm. And there it says live photo. And just turn that on right now, and we'll discuss that more when we get into live photo. All right? I think that's the only two I need you to really pay attention to. Oh, and turn on grid. That puts a bunch of a grid on your screen when you're taking a picture. Some people find that disturbing. So if at the end of the class, you can turn it off if you wish. Okay. The reason I have it on is to make sure I have my picture kind of leveled.
Oh, I hate to ask, but where is your turn on grid?
It's under you go back to where it says camera at the top of the screen,
Right, I've got that.
and it goes down there and it says grid under composition.
Oh, okay.
What did
Right
you
there.
say about preserve settings?
Pardon me?
Did you say about preserve settings?
I said tap that and tap it and go to live photo and turn live photo on.
One phone you have it at preserve and the other one's where you've touched it.
No, I've touched it on both. There.
Thank you.
Mhm. Okay.
Are you going to explain the other ones or suggest the other
No,
ones
not
that
yet.
we should
Not yet.
do?
No, it gets way more complex than you want to right now.
Okay.
Okay. So let's get out of settings. Everybody's back to your home screen. And go ahead and touch the camera. Okay. Now, it should look something like my phone does on the left-hand screen there, on the left-hand portion of your screen. I don't think you'll have a picture of the eagle, but you'll have the camera exposed. Right? And on the bottom, so you open the camera, which is what we just did. Well, first of all, there's multiple ways to open your camera. I'm back on my home screen. You can touch. You can touch the camera. If you're on your lock screen, which is what it looks like on the left-hand screen there, I can touch the camera in the lower right-hand corner to get to the camera. Oh, it's supposed to be. I can sweep from right to left to get to the camera. Right to left. It's like touching that camera doesn't bring it up, but it does if you sweep from right to left on your screen. Okay. So that's several ways to quickly get to your camera. You know, you're fumbling around, you get to this place, you say, oh, I want to get a picture of that. And you come up with your lock screen, you just sweep from left to right. There's your camera, and you can take your picture quickly. That makes sense to everybody? I'm not hearing much on the other end.
Yeah, it's sweep right to left.
Is that what I said? Is that what I said, Bill? Or did I say
I
left to
think
right?
you said left to right, but most of it you've said right to left.
It's the drugs. It's the drugs. I can blame it on the drugs. All right. Now, at the bottom of the screen, you can see at the bottom of the screen, it says photo, video, slow-mo, portrait. You can tap where it says video. So if I tap where it says video there,
I don't see it.
if I tap where it says video, it switches to video mode. If I tap where it says slow-mo, so it's changing the kind of camera or the kind of picture you're going to take. And whenever one is yellow, see how the photo is yellow? It says portrait, it says square or pano. Okay. You with me on that one so far?
Yep.
So it's pretty easy to switch between different modes. Oftentimes, you should check that when you're, key thing here is you should check that when you're trying to take a picture, because you could be in video mode. And then what happens is when you touch the button, instead of, well, it takes a picture, but it starts a video as well. So it's starting the video and it's going to run until you tap that button again. So I'm going to switch it back to photo by tapping the word photo. And you can take a picture not only by tapping the button, but you can hit either the volume up or the volume down button to take a picture. Okay, and go ahead and try that. Just hit the volume down or volume up, and it'll click and you took a picture of that. And in the lower left-hand corner, you'll see a thumbnail of the picture you took. Everybody with that so far? Yes. Oh, I got that, Bill. That's pretty good. All right. Now some of us have the same, see where mine says 1x there on the bottom? Or 2x. If I tap the 1x, it switches to 2x. I'm actually switching cameras. So if you have that little circle there on my iPhone, on my iPhone 12, it says 0.5, 1, and 2. And that's actually 3 cameras that I have on there. All
Bill,
right. Yes.
in this 0.51x to the left of the 0.5, I have this round yellow circle with what it looks like a tulip in it that keeps coming up. I don't know what that is.
Tulip. I don't either. What happens
Okay.
if you
It it goes away, but it comes back if I tap it.
I'm not sure what that is. Maybe another app you have on there.
I think it has something to do with the lighting, but I don't know. Anyway, thank you.
Um, what's the model of your phone?
Whoa, I've 14 Pro Max.
Jim, do you have a 14 Pro? You with us, Jim? Or Bill, do you have a 14 Pro?
This is Jim. Yes,
No, I've got a 12.
I have 14 Pro.
And do you have a
Very
little, any other icon on the screen other than the ones I'm talking about, Jim?
No,
I'm
No?
very good
Okay.
with the 14. I don't have it either. No tulip.
Okay. No tulip.
All right, I will look for it somewhere. Thank you.
All right. Now you can zoom in on my eagle here by pinching or dividing. I'm zooming in on my eagle. Yeah. Right. And you'll notice how that number changes on the screen. And it says 6x zoom, 1x. On my other phone, I zoom in and it goes to 4.5. That one goes to 10x.
Wow.
Now, now there's something different about those two phones, or my phone and zooming in with my fingers. If you zoom in with your fingers and that particular number on your phone changes, like it's changing right now. So I don't only have two cameras on there, yet I'm able to zoom in. That's called a digital zoom. What it's doing is just taking the picture and reducing the number of pixels or zooming in on a particular section of that picture, not changing the lens of it. So when I'm on 3.4, I'm digitally zooming, not optically zooming. When you optically zoom, you change the lens on the camera. Many of us remember back when you had a 3 point, or what was it, 25, no, what's the camera type, 45 millimeter or something like that?
I think
Remember that?
35 millimeter.
Thank you, 35 millimeter. When we had our 35 millimeter cameras, we could take this lens on and put on and off and put another lens on. Well, that's actually a optical zoom you're doing. You're changing the lens so that you're putting a telescope basically or a microscope, depending on the lens, in front of the camera or in front of the camera film, if you will. If you do digital view, you're taking the same picture and just zooming in on portion of it. You're not changing the lens. Therefore, the quality of the picture begins to degrade as you zoom in. The little pixels get larger and larger. Okay. And if you take a digital picture, let's say this one, so there's the picture of the eagle. And if I start zooming in, see how it pixelated? It got a little fuzzy. That's the picture of the eagle, right? If I start coming back out, the fuzziness disappears. That's because when I get in here, I'm pixelating.
How are you going in and out? Is it,
How far? Well, as far as you want to. Doesn't, just until it starts pixelating. I'm not sure how far that goes. Now this is, I'm looking at the picture, not the camera. Now I'm looking at the camera and I'm zooming in. And I can go to 10x with this particular phone. Okay?
I miss, how do you zoom with the camera then? I
With
miss,
the what?
not the digital, but the other zoom. How do you get that?
If you take a picture, I'll take a picture of this eagle. Let me do it again. Okay. And then I tap the lower left-hand corner. That brings up the picture of it, not the camera. And then I can zoom in on that.
Are you using your fingers to zoom in, or are you using some device on the camera?
Using my fingers.
Thank you.
For both of them, for the digital and for the optical too?
Whether I'm on the camera or I'm looking at a picture, I can use my fingers to zoom in and out. All right. You with me so far, everybody?
Bill, excuse me, Bill, I have a question. So are you saying you get, if you're taking the picture, you get a clearer picture by either pressing the 0.5, the 1x, or the 2 before you take the picture versus zooming in with your finger before you take the picture? Is that what you're saying? It's better to touch the circles?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll touch the circle. And now I switch the lens. And that switches the lens. To be honest with you, I'm not sure what happens if I'm on 1 and I zoom into 2. I may be switching the lens. I'm not sure. But certainly when I go back past the 2x on the phone that's on the screen right now, when I go by there, I'm doing the digital zoom, not the lens shifting or optical zoom.
Okay.
But we have friends and he always likes to take his regular camera because he says that if you try to blow up on the television or something, photos you've taken, that the pixelation is not as good. That it's clearer with a regular camera with the lenses.
Not necessarily, depends on the pixels that the picture contains. You know, this picture, when I get it in my phone, if I have it normally, it's 1,000,000 pixels. If I tap the 2, it's still 1,000,000 pixels. If I zoom in, I'm getting less pixels with my fingers. Zoom in. All right. So it depends on the camera is a 12 megapixel picture. I better explain that a little bit. There's a way to take the picture on your on your phone. When you take a picture normally on your phone, the lens says, I'm going to collect 12 million dots, 12 million pixels, and it immediately reduces it to around between 1 and 2 million dots. Okay. there is a setting you can set in there that says, I don't want you to reduce it. I want you to keep it at 12 million dots. It's called raw photo. And yeah, a camera can take a raw photo, as can your phone. And there's 12 million pixels versus 2 million pixels. Most of the time, we don't need that because we're not going to blow it up to the size of a football field or anything. All right. Professional photographers that use the phone would go in there and switch it. There's a setting, we were in settings earlier, that you can say, save it as a raw photo, not a reduced.
How do you edit it differently if it's a raw photo than another photo?
No, but it takes a lot more space on your device.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's like 6 pictures. One picture takes the space of 6 pictures. Okay,
And how does that differ from the live photo?
we'll get to that in a minute.
All right, thank you. I seem to anticipate what you're going to tell us. Thank you.
Okay, we're just taking a photo right now, right? Now there's a way to control the flash. You'll notice in the upper left-hand corner of both my devices, there's a little flash. There's a little lightning bolt. If you tap that, or if I touch that here, flash is off. I touch it again, flash is on. Let's see. If I do it on my older version here, it comes up and says auto on or off. Auto flash, you're leaving it up to the camera to decide whether it needs to flash or not. On, of course, would flash every time, and off would not allow the flash. If you have a particular scene that's getting dark out and you want to maintain that ambiance of, let's say, sunset, you would turn flash off so the camera doesn't decide to do a flash. If you wanted that same kind of control that I had on the iPhone 10, which is the one with the eagle in it, I would have to go to the, see the little arrow right here at the top? Everybody?
Yeah. Mhm.
Now, not everybody has that because that doesn't appear in all the phones.
Oh.
If I tap that, I have the lightning bolt show up there at the bottom of the screen, and that's where I would go to turn the flash on or off. Right now it's in auto. I could turn it on. I could turn it off. And I'm back to auto. So in those two, that's the 2 different ways that flash is controlled depending on the age of your phone.
Does it automatically take a flash when you have it on?
Yes.
Yes. And okay.
When it's in auto mode, it automatically flashes. Now there's a one feature. Let me turn the lightning bolt off. there's one feature some of you have, and I'll point to it on the screen. Well, let's work across. See this little indicator here? They call it a bullseye, and mine has a line through it. Here's the bullseye on the other model phone, has a line through it as well. That's called a live photo. If that line is not through it, your camera will take what's called a live photo. A live photo, if I use a different definition, is a 3-second video, automatic 3-second video. The interesting thing about this live photo is that when it's on and you take the picture, it records the 1.5 seconds before you hit the button and a 1.5 seconds after. And that is really weird, right? So I'll put my fingers here, right? And what I'm going to do is I'll demo this, just watch for a minute. So now live photo is on, and you'll see it's the little target is yellow. If I do this and I hit the button, what I'm going to do is stop my fingers when I hit the button. And what you'll see when I replay it is a 1.5 seconds of this, and then a 1.5 seconds of my fingers not moving. Okay, so now they're moving, button, and I pulled it away. So now I'm going to play that live photo. Just a minute. See that? So my fingers were moving before I hit the button. When I hit the button, I pulled them away. And you're going to say, what the heck is the usefulness of that?
Yeah.
Some people have found that they take live photos of everything because you're always going to catch the picture you like. So if you're taking a picture at the finish line of a race and you hold it at the finish line, and when you see them cross, you hit the button, you'll get the 1.5 seconds before they reach the finish line.
Oh.
Okay?
When you have live photo and it keeps, when you're trying to edit it or look at it, it keeps moving around. How do you stop it from moving around?
When you say edit it, you're looking at all the pictures.
Yeah, I'm looking at a
And
picture, and if I click
yeah,
into it, I
I
can
can't,
move it from back and forth.
if I tap edit right now on this live photo,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get into that right now.
Okay.
Let me
All
not
right.
do that.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
There's the live photo at the bottom of the screen.
Hmm.
So I can choose different things. And we'll talk about that next week when we talk about editing.
Oh, good, good, good.
All right.
Hey, Bill,
Yes, sir.
let me just make an interesting comment. If you have a person standing or sitting in front of a fireplace where the fire is going, and you take a live photo, then when you look at the photo, you see the flames going up and down in the picture.
Right.
And the person's just still. So it makes
Right.
an interesting picture.
It does. It does.
Yes.
And there are lots of effects like that. And people will play with it and say, wow, I really like this. Right? You're taking a picture of your family, a family portrait kind of thing, and you make a live photo. In that 3 seconds, you're likely to get everybody with their eyes open or smiling or something. And you can choose a picture from the live photo to use. Now, I would like everybody to turn it off. All right. If you turned it on earlier, turn it off now.
Okay.
And now every time you use the camera, based on the settings I told you about earlier, it will be off. If, on the other hand, you had it on, every picture you take from now on, it will be live photo. Okay? So just be sure there's a line over it right now. We're going across the top there. There's a little timer. This is supposed to represent a timer, this icon. And if you tap, and what the timer is give me some time after I hit the button to run around and get in the picture. It's called a delayed shutter. And you have a choice. When you tap that, I'll tap it, and it says 3 or 10 seconds. It says I'll take 3 seconds to run around and get in the picture or do whatever, or I'll take 10 seconds. And what happens is I'm going to tap the 10 seconds. Okay, and now I'm going to touch the button, tap the button, right? This button.
Um,
And it's actually flashing. So you could see it if you're running around getting the picture and somebody was counting them. Okay, and then it took a picture.
Bill, can you show me where you, in the beginning, which one you hit?
To start it or to change the time?
No, the very beginning of this.
Okay, I'm on photo mode.
Okay, I got that.
And then I tap the little clock in the top of the screen.
Bill, I don't have
I have a
that
clock.
clock.
You don't?
No, I don't. I have a lightning rod and then a globe-like thing, the arrow, and then this other thing you said we should shut
Okay.
off.
If you tap the arrow at the top
Arrow at the top.
of the
Yes.
screen,
Okay.
down at the bottom there'll be some controls,
Right.
Okay.
and one of them should be the timer.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much.
And I'm glad you asked that because I didn't know everybody did not have it up there.
Does the timer look like a incomplete circle with an arrow in it?
It does.
Thank
Bill,
Okay.
mine has an I in the middle of it, the letter I.
The letter I.
And when I tap it, it tells me when I took the picture, and it gives me and what I took it with.
No. You're looking at the photo. You got to go back to your camera. You.
I don't know which icon is the timer on the bottom of that screen.
The camera icon isn't there, right? You have to go back to your home screen and tap camera.
No, I'm in timer, I'm sorry. I don't know which one is the timer.
One that looks like, you get the one that looks like this.
Oh, up
Or
there.
the,
Oh, I don't have one of those.
okay?
No, I don't have one of those.
Yes, you do. If you don't have it at the top there, tap the arrow right here.
Which
Tap
one? Oh,
this arrow.
there. Oh, there. All right, tap the arrow.
And then you should get a list at the bottom.
I got a list.
And if you scroll over in it, you'll see that icon.
I don't have it. I have a 4.3, it says.
Right? Keep going. You have a plus or
Plus.
minus.
Oh, I got to scroll over. Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
I guess that's it. Okay. Thank you.
All learning about all the little idiosyncrasies of getting around here.
Oh my God.
All right. So far, so good, everybody. So now we know how to take a timer.
No, it didn't work. Now it says the timer's off. When I hit that, it says the time.
Should be off. You don't want it on.
Well, how am I going to take the picture then with the timer?
Well, then, if you want to take a picture with a delayed shutter,
Mm-hmm.
you would tap that icon.
I got the icon. Now it says timer off 3S 10S.
Tap one of those.
One of the 10S. I tapped that. Nothing happened.
I know. Now, if you take the picture.
Oh, that's logical.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Okay, thank you.
Let me get out of this.
Oh, that's good.
All right. Just a minute. I got to get my phone back here. Hmm. Okay. Now this one you need to be a little careful with. And you don't want to mess it up. Back when we had those 35mm cameras, there were all kinds of different what they called filter lenses you could put on it to make it look black and white, to make it look a warmer effect, et cetera, et cetera. They have the same kind of things here. And on the phone on the left, there's three circles there at the top. Some of you have those three circles. If you don't have those three circles, again, you tap the arrow at the top of the screen, and then you scroll to where you see those three circles, and there they are on that screen. You with me so far, everybody?
Yes.
When you tap those three circles, it comes up and says original, and then you can change the filter. You'll see how the picture's changing its complexion. Got a clear and black and white, silver tone, right? Mono, cool, warm, dramatic, all these different filters on it. And if you tap one of them, that's the way the picture will take. Now, I changed it. All right. And then I take the picture. And it takes it with that filter on. I want to make sure you switch it back to the original.
Bill, what is the difference between taking it with the filter or doing the filter afterward and retouch? Is there any
Nothing.
difference? Nothing. Okay.
Nothing.
Hey, Bill.
Okay. Yes.
The filters are a little bit different on the 14.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, the very first one says standard. The next one says rich contrast. Next one is vibrant. and then warm, and then cool.
Okay.
So it's just a little different.
Yeah. They have different filters. Be sure you leave it in standard, you
Yeah.
know, so you're not taking in vibrant or something like that.
James, where do you find these on your 14? I have the ones that Bill was talking about.
You have the 14 Pro, Jim?
Yeah.
Yes, I have 14 Pro.
And Kathleen?
Yes, I have the same ones that Bill is talking about. I don't have the ones that James is talking about. So maybe
I
they're
know. Do you have a 14 or a 14 Pro?
14 Pro?
You do?
Yes.
I thought I had 14 Pro and mine says original on the first picture.
Jim, you got something special there.
Yeah, mine's different.
Yeah. Oh, I hate it. I hate it.
Well,
Makes classes hard to teach when we have different things come up.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just different terminology. I think they're relatively the same filters. Anyway, and if you'll notice, notice on this screen, I'm going to change it. And you see how the circles up here are in multicolor now?
Oh, gee.
So that's the way I can tell if I change it here. It's not as obvious. I change it on this one, that one circle in front is yellow. And if I take the picture, see now it's in vivid mode. And I'm still in vivid mode. So that's why I urge you to go there and change it back to either standard or original and take a picture to make sure it stays there. Now, as Kathleen says, if you do mess up there, you can change it back to standard or original after you've taken the picture, but that would be every picture you've taken. All right?
Well, mine says warm. I don't know how to get to standard.
Well, I don't know where it says warm. I have dramatic warm. I don't have standard.
Oh, okay. So warm is okay.
Okay, just back to the original. The one most to the left. Okay?
Okay.
Wow. Other ones I want to cover there. Okay. Now, if everybody would write this down, I want you to take, not right now, but 10 or 12 pictures of something. You know, you have a picture or you have, you're going for a walk and you took pictures during your walk, or you have a set of photos you want to take pictures of. All those kind of things I'd like you to do for next week. Take 10 or 12 or 14 pictures of one thing or another. Okay?
Okay.
Using the same settings or change your settings and things of that kind.
Do whatever you'd like. And that's
So
a good
again?
idea. I say do what you would like. Just play with it.
Okay.
All right?
And what will we be doing next week with the pictures?
We'll be organizing them and doing a little editing and things like that.
Oh, organizing sounds wonderful. Thank you.
All right. One of the other super features here is the ability to change what you want to focus on, right? You're taking a landscape picture, you're taking a picture of some people, and you want to make sure you're focused on their faces. Because your camera kind of selects what it wants to focus on. And what you do, if you look at the camera right there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap right at the eagle's beak here. You see the little square that formed around it? The camera's telling you that's what I'm focused on now. Okay, if I wanted to focus on the tail, I would tap the tail there, and it would focus on that. The other thing you can do,
squares on the screen, right?
not the big squares, the little square that showed up.
Mine outlines.
I have the grid there, but I tap the screen on the beak, and you see the square that appeared on it?
How did you get the square, Bill? Because mine outlines.
Just tap the beak, or tap somewhere that you're going to focus on. Just tap the screen. And a square will appear where you tapped.
No.
And again, I got to be in camera mode.
Well, didn't you pick it up from the picture that you had at the bottom of the screen that you
No. That's going to your photos, Ann.
How do I get to what you're talking about?
Go back to your camera.
Okay, but I'm in my camera, and the only way I can get to a picture is to go back.
Oh, no, you're in your camera. Take a picture. We want to take a picture. So I've got my camera up here, and I tap the screen. You see the square appear on the screen? Yes? No?
Yes, yes.
It's very faint.
I'm in my camera, not my photos. I want to focus on the talons there, or the tail, or the wing. And that's where camera will adjust its depth of field. So I'm going to focus there. Yes? Now, the other thing you can do, I'm going to switch it back to the beak. I'm just going to tap where the beak is. Let me move my pointer. I'm going to tap right there. See the square up here? And what I can do is I can put my finger right here and pull down, and it'll make it darker or brighter.
Just that particular part of the whole thing?
I'm just anywhere on the left-hand portion of the screen. But you see that little picture of a sun on a line?
Mm-hmm.
I'm moving that up and down. You don't need to put your finger on that. I'm putting my finger where the dot is on the screen and pulling it up.
The whole picture goes lighter or darker, or just the beak of the.
The whole picture.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So now I'm changing the shutter. How long the shutter is open. Make sense to everybody?
Again, please.
Say again.
What you just did, where you moved it up and you said that's the shutter.
That changes the amount of time the shutter is open, or the amount of light that gets in. And now I'm just saying, hey, open the shutter longer or less. right? Less, more. So these are all the features that you used to have on a 35 millimeter camera that you actually have on your iPhone. All right. Now, the reason I have the grid there, those lines, is if I'm tilted, I can tell that I'm tilted, or I'm taking a picture of a shoreline, for example. I can see whether I have it squared up or not. Those grid
Bill,
lines do not appear on the picture, and I can actually see this is the center of the picture now, right?
is there any way of making the grid lines bigger or another color?
Nope.
No. Okay.
I don't know how to
Again,
stop.
they don't show up on the picture.
Now mine, when I try to take the picture, it's counting down, numbers counting down.
Well, you still have the timer on.
Oh, right.
So you got to go over here to the clock
Go to the clock.
and turn off the timer.
I don't see a clock. Oh, God.
Yes, you do. Do you have the clock at the top of the screen?
No, I don't have anything right now on the top of the screen. I have an arrow up on the top of the screen.
Okay, tap the arrow.
Okay.
Now the arrow will be turned down.
Yes.
And at the bottom here, you can scroll this little bar down here.
Well, I must be in something now because I don't have the bar, but I have a red dot.
You have a red dot.
I
Where do you
don't,
have, where do you have a red dot?
I don't know how I got it. And on the top, it says a red dot, and then it says 0.0, and then above that, 0.5, 1x.
These dots. Is that what you're talking about?
No. No, it's a big, it's the size of that white one, only it's red. And it's,
Where is it? At the top?
no, right at the bottom, all the way to the bottom, you see your white dot. Well, mine is red.
Ah, good move. See the arrow at the top? Click that
Click that,
and change it back to photo.
change it. And I don't have a photo. I don't have anything down here except the red dot. Some
Doesn't it say video, portrait, and a bunch of things down
the
there?
time lapse, that's what it says. Oh, that's what's wrong. Now put it back to photo. Now the
Yes,
red dot means I can take a picture.
the white dot.
Well, I have a red dot and now it's counting 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Right. and your timer is still on.
Okay, I don't know how to get it off.
Now you go up to the arrow at the top.
Now I am, well, I have to wait till this counts down. It's going to 22 now.
What?
I know, what? Now it's on 30. I don't know what's happening.
You holding
I
down the
think
button?
you're taking a movie.
Oh, gosh.
That-
All right.
Touch the red dot.
Okay, I
Touch-
thank you. I see now what it is. It's a video. So I should be in photo,
Yes.
and I still have this 0.51x above the photo.
Right.
So that's okay?
That's okay.
Thank you.
Okay. One other thing, everybody's still in photo mode. In other words, it looks like mine on the left there
Yes.
or the right. Right? You're in photo mode.
Yeah.
If you press and hold that white button, it does something called burst mode.
Yeah.
And if you hold, I'm not sure, wait a minute, let me try something.
What does burst mode do?
So I'm going to describe to you.
Okay.
If you have an iPhone 12 or later, and you push and pull that button to the left this way,
Yeah.
it takes multiple pictures called burst mode. And what it's doing is taking 10, 20, 30, 40 pictures of that same thing. If you push that button and pull right, this is again the newer phones, you're starting a video.
Oh.
What would you do with all those pictures in burst mode? What's the
We'll
point?
talk about those in a minute. Okay.
So I seem to anticipate. Okay, thank you again.
So now, if I on this one that's on the screen, let me go here. I took 24 pictures of that eagle on the right. On the one on the left there, I took 20 I took 13 pictures of that eagle. See where it says burst?
Oh, yeah.
Now, again, you might want to do this if you're taking any family portraits, so you get 13 pictures. Certainly one of those 13 will have, my cousin John smiling, hopefully, or something like that. So that's the purpose of burst mode in a lot of cases. Again, some people use burst mode at the finish line. It goes, I call it paparazzi mode. Whenever you see these movie stars on TV and you see the flash going bam, 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 it's doing the same thing with your phone. It's
Bill,
called burst.
for some reason, I did when I slide that, I don't get what you were getting at.
How old? What's the age of your phone?
It's the Pro 14 new. It's
You
about
should
8 months.
you should get burst mode when you push the button and slide it.
Mine just went red. Maybe I've got something else on by mistake.
Maybe you have one on.
I don't know. It turns red. The circle turns red when I drag it.
Push it, the circle turns red, and then you pull it to the left. I guess you pull it to the left the instant you touch it. You just put your finger, slide it, put it on the button, and slide immediately to the left.
I just got a red square in the middle and the white thing on the side now. The white
You're
circle.
sliding it to the right.
Oh, to the right, to the left.
No, I
Okay.
want you to slide it. I want you to slide it to the left.
To the left. Okay. It was counting down numbers. And
Yes.
it's white.
And as long as you hold it there I just took 20 pictures.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
What's the
Bill,
difference?
on the 11 Pro, which is what I have, it doesn't come up and say the burst.
Correct. So just press and hold the button for you. And I think it's bursting.
So, Bill, what is the difference between pressing and holding it left or right?
When you pull it right, Jim, it's taking a video now. That's a new feature.
Oh,
Wow, that's amazing.
well, mine's doing it either way.
No, it shouldn't do it when you take it to the left. It should be taking a burst mode when you take it left.
Well,
Thank you.
Yes or no, Jim?
mine says it's a video.
When you drag it to the right,
left
look
or
at- look
right, dragging it either way results in the same thing.
it shouldn't. I'm putting my finger on it and immediately dragging it left. Burst mode. I put my finger on it and immediately drag right, and now it's a video. So right now I'm recording a video on that screen. It's 5, 6, 7 seconds long. And by the way, Jim, if I hit the white button, it takes a picture at that particular point in the video. So you're not getting burst mode, Jim?
No, mine gives video either way.
Let me see something. What it says in my literature, if you go to settings, Jim, is there anything in there for burst mode?
Okay, into settings. Wait a minute, let me have
Yeah.
settings and then what? Camera?
Yes.
Settings, camera. Okay, let me find that.
Anybody else have the iPhone 14 and are not able to get burst mode?
No.
I think I'm okay.
If could somebody tell me if who has a 14 other than Jim?
Okay,
Are
camera.
they able to burst mode?
I found camera, so what do I do now?
Well, see if there's anything that references burst in there.
No,
I can't find it on my phone.
I don't see anything on there.
Okay.
Or
Who else has a 14 out there?
Well, I do, but I'm not very good at this.
That's okay. Are you able to push, if you're on your camera and you go and you're on photo mode
Yes.
and you just pull the white button to the left, does it start counting?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So Jim,
Yeah.
must be somewhere in settings, hidden in there somewhere.
This is Leah, and when I do it, the first time I did it, it was white when I pulled it to the left. But each subsequent time that I've done it, it becomes red when I touch it and pull.
And pull to the left or pull to the right?
Pulling it to the left.
It turns red?
Yeah, I've had that too.
Yes. The first time it was white and moved like you said it would. If I did it again, and each subsequent time, it has become red.
Well, when I held my finger on it and hesitated, it went red, like you said. But if you just drag it, it counts down.
It counts.
So you must be holding your finger on it before you drag it. And that made mine red also.
That's exactly right. So be sure you pull it. You don't
drag it right away.
Yeah. If you hold it there for any given time, it turns red.
Thank you.
Now mine, when I turn it, pull it to the right and let go, it counts down, so it's taking the video. but I have a circle with a red dot and the white dot is now to the right. Is that the way
That's
it should?
important. That's important. Watch the screen. I'm going to
Yeah.
do that. Okay. So now you see
Which
the
one?
count
Which one?
up. Hold on. Now you see the count up at the top.
Yes, that's what I
That's
see.
recording a video. The circle in the middle is a square, red, saying that the video is on. And then you have the white dot on the left.
Yes.
If you tap the white dot, it takes a still picture of that where
Oh.
you are in the video.
Mhm.
So you can be
Oh,
tapping still pictures while it's recording a video.
oh,
The white dot to the left, I don't have that. Is that part of my
I don't.
settings or something?
Well, I have that because I'm doing a video right now.
Yeah, me too, but I don't have it. I don't know why not.
Okay, Bill, what happens when you drag it to the left now?
I can't. I have to stop the video first.
Okay, yeah, I know that. Yeah.
So I stop the video, and now I just pull it to the left, and it starts burst mode.
Oh,
In other words, don't concentrate on pushing the button. Concentrate on pulling the button left.
That's the difference. Put any
Well-
pressure on it to move it, it turns. If you don't, it just goes with it.
when I pull mine to the left, listen to it, what it says. You hear that?
No, I don't hear anything.
Oh, you don't hear it. Okay. It's taking
Is it making a is it making a noise? Like a chick,
Yes.
like a, well, that's burst mode.
Okay, listen. I think you should hear it.
I can't. No,
Don't you hear that?
no, that's okay.
Bill?
No, it could be just the way the
Oh,
phones
shit.
are set up. I'm not hearing sound from your phone. Mine doesn't make a noise. But that could be because my volume's way down. So far, so good.
Yes.
yes.
Now I'm going to be sending you, it's called iPhone Camera Basics with the video of the class. And it has all these things and how to access them and what phones access them, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. That's
All right. I want to switch gears now. We've been taking lots of pictures, right? We've been using the back camera.
Then
If you switch gears and make it the front camera like that, right? You get the front camera.
okay.
And that's called the selfie. And in selfie mode, if you press and hold the button, it does burst mode.
Oh,
Nice. All right. I'm not hearing anything.
we're so
I'm not
busy
sure.
trying to figure it out.
Did you get it to go to selfie camera by hitting this little camera with circles or these circles, right?
Oh yeah. It's amazing.
That's where you'll see a lot of the young girls use it as a mirror.
Right.
Bill, on the selfie mode, I still have to slide the white dot left to get the burst mode rather than just holding it.
And I can't slide mine. Now, mine automatically goes to burst mode.
Didn't see any burst mode settings, and you and I have the same camera, I think, at 12
Well,
Pro.
wait a minute. Here's the 12. Yep, you're right. Yep, you're right. On the 12, you have to do the drag. Okay?
Once you have the burst mode, what do you do with it, or how do you find it?
No, it's in your here, show you.
I've taken the photo. I just how do you find the photo, and what do you do with the photo?
Well, we're going to talk about editing next week, remember?
Okay, okay. All right.
Right there, I'm on a picture of that eagle where I took 13 burst pictures. And what else do I have here? There's one where I took 8.
How are they different?
They're not. They're all the same shot. I was holding down these are just different times I did it. There I did 15.
Somebody asked what you would do with the portrait of you. What do you do with that many photos of the same thing?
All right. I'm taking a picture of my family. And Aunt Harriet never smiles. And I'm saying to smile, everybody. And finally, she smiles in one of those 13 pictures. And I picked that picture as the family portrait.
You get to choose which one you choose.
You can choose any one of the pictures you want.
I presume you delete the others?
You can, sure. And they are taking up space, so you might want to do that. But you asked me why. I gave you one reason. Oh, you're watching a sunset and you want to get that, what is it, green glow or whatever? So you put on burst mode and you take 40 of them as the sun dips into the ocean. See if you get the green. See if you get the green flash. Yeah.
I've never seen it yet.
You might get it with burst mode.
Bill, how do you delete all this? Because I press one of them and press the garbage and it says it's deleting 12, but I got a whole bunch more.
Yeah, you get rid of all of them.
But how do I get them all at once, or don't I?
We'll talk about editing next time.
Okay, thank you.
Now, if you have all of these pictures when you're doing it live, not live, but yes, live, and then you have all of these pictures with burst mode, what's the difference between the series? Why is one preferable to the other?
The live mode is a video, so the quality of each picture is going to be a little less. The burst mode is a full picture of each one. It's not a video.
Thank you. I wondered about that for a while.
Ask about something on my camera that you haven't mentioned, and maybe you're going to. On the top above the picture, I have an oblong element that in it has HDR, but it's crossed.
Yep, it's called high dynamic range. And I guess I should talk about that. Is it on or off?
I'm assuming that the line through it means it's off because it does on the other item.
Yes.
So
So
mine is off.
Turn it on.
Just did.
When you take an HDR picture, it takes, I think, 3 different pictures at once or simultaneously. And it puts at different focal distances. And once you've done that, it combines the 3 into one picture, giving you a much more 3-dimensional effect of the picture. Also showing the colors more vividly at the different focal lengths. For example, I saw this tree last spring. It was a gorgeous big tree bursting out in green, and behind it was this dramatic, really blue sky. And I took it in normal mode, focusing on the tree, and the tree was brilliant, but the sky just turned grayish. I switched it to HDR, and not only was the tree really brilliant green, the sky was brilliant blue as well.
Where is the HDR you're talking about? Could you point out?
If you have it in 14, you don't have a control over it. It's automatic.
Oh.
In other words, it would be better to use the HDR outside than inside.
You can use it everywhere. It does take up more space. The HDR photo.
So, Bill, on the 14, there's no choice on that?
I don't know, Jim. If you look at your controls, is there an HDR? There's no HDR on the screen that I know of. Is there an HDR in settings?
Oh, I don't know.
For the 14.
What does the HDR on the screen look like? Could you point where it was?
I just went to settings.
Okay.
Camera, and at the bottom it says Smart HDR.
I don't see that, so I don't think we have it.
In 14, do you have anything that references HDR?
I don't see it. No.
Bill, I just looked at
Yes.
it. It says iPhones 12, 13, and 14 are automatically do HDR, so it's not an option.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's on my iPad, but it's not on my 13.
I have a 12 up on the screen, and there is a Smart HDR option at the bottom there.
I have a 10 and it has it on mine.
Smart HDR?
I don't find it on mine, 14.
It must have stopped after 12 then, because I have it for 11.
And it's on there, Ann?
Yes, I have Smart HDR on the 11 Pro.
Right.
I have it on the XR.
Okay. And I have it, I think, on, this is a 12. And what Jim just said, or Bill just said, is on the documentation, it says it's not on the 12. It's not a 12, well, no. My phone is a 12 Pro. And it does have the control on it. They must have eliminated it after that. Okay.
I don't find it on mine.
Okay. I understand. They keep trying to improve it. Sometimes the improvement is confusing.
I had to turn mine on though. On my 10, I had to turn it on.
Right. All right.
Okay.
The way I look at it is I need all the intelligence I can get on my phone.
I do too.
Bill?
But you have to be intelligent to figure it out.
That is a disadvantage, isn't it?
Yeah, for me.
Well, for most of us.
Bill, when I take anything with my iPhone, it takes forever to get to my computer, my iMac. Is there any way of changing that? I mean,
No,
it can be out, it
shouldn't
can
take,
be.
shouldn't take forever, but both of them it has to be put in the iCloud, and then your computer has to get it from the iCloud. So it depends on how often your Mac checks the iCloud.
And is there something you can do about that? All the pictures I just took, I was trying to look at it on my computer, and of course they're not there.
Not yet. They will be. But
Right.
I'm sure there's a way to do that on the Mac. I'm not that familiar with the Mac.
All right. Well,
definitely.
Since I had all of your genius here, I thought, well, let me ask Bill and let me see what.
Google's even smarter. You just say, "Hey Google, how do I check the iCloud for photos, new photos?"
Okay. Will do. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. And we've just used the camera. We haven't talked about any of the other modes. Well, let's do that now. Again, I open my camera. Both my new phone is on the left, the 12 and the 10 is on the right.
Yeah.
And there's a video mode. You'll notice how the dot changes. The center dot changes depending on the mode you're in. On the left, it's in photo mode. On the right, it's in video mode. I'm sorry. On the right, it's on photo mode. On the left, it's in video mode. And you touch that button and it will start recording a video. And you see the white button on the left? I can take a picture now.
Oh.
Right? It's on the left on the iPhone 10. It's on the right on the iPhone 12. But I can take a picture of any particular portion of that video as it's recording. So if you look at your phone and you see that red square, guess what? You're in video mode. You're recording. And you touch it to stop. So the nice feature they've added there is the ability to take a still picture at any time you're recording the video.
Wow.
I actually have that on mine.
How about that?
These other things you've been talking about, I don't know.
I understand. Then there's slow motion, right? And it slows the action down. So when you take a picture, it goes much slower. I go to my photos here. I have one that I usually show folks. I have one picture of my grandson and I playing with his block set. I built a block wall. We built a block wall. And he had a remote control car. And he ran the remote control car through. Here it goes. He's straightening it out. It's in slow motion now. See how slowly his hand's moving?
Oh,
And
yeah.
the car's moving and the blocks.
Oh, that's
Okay. The opposite is true about the other mode there. It's called time lapse. And what it's doing is taking a picture every 1, 2, or 5 seconds so that when it plays back at normal speed, things seem to be moving much quicker. All right.
What
So
is
if you're taking if you have a tripod and you take a picture of a sunset, you can condense the length of time the sunset takes to a couple of seconds versus a couple of minutes. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So how often does the time lapse take a picture?
I don't know, Jim.
Okay.
See, right now it's doing it. and I'm not sure of the frequency. And that may be in the settings somewhere. I'm not sure.
What is cinematic?
Say cinematic. Who has cinematic?
I do on the 14.
This is a 13.
The 14 has it also.
When you say cinematic, do you have a portrait?
Next to the video writing, let me press it.
Okay,
Next
now
to
I have,
slow motion.
Says more light required.
there's one called cinematic, huh?
Yeah, cinematic.
It's taking a video when you do that.
Oh no, what is it? What's
Well,
the difference?
Well, it's like a burst mode or slow video.
I guess I'll do it and see what happens.
It says your video depth information is stored and allows you to later change the depth of field effect.
Oh, I can speed it up and slow it down later? Is that what you're saying?
That's what it says. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Bill. You there, William?
I'll
Could
check.
you check?
Yeah.
What is cinematic? I don't have it, so I haven't had a chance to play with that one. Guys, you're giving me an excuse to get
It looks like it's taking a video when you look
Yeah.
at it.
That's your homework, Bill.
to get a new phone. I think my wife might have something to say about that.
Well, going back to video, how did you get that slowmatic part?
Slow mo. I just took the
What-
picture in slow motion.
How do I do that again?
You put it in slow mo, hit the button.
Oh, I found it. I found it. Thank you.
And you get the different features of the camera by just tapping the name. So video, I tap video, video turns yellow. I tap photo, now I'm in photo mode.
Thank you.
There's a wonderful one called portrait. Let's see what happens if I try this.
I got an answer on cinematic.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Cinematic mode, your iPhone camera can record videos with shallow depth of field and add beautiful focus transitions for a cinematic grade look. Before you get started, make sure you have the latest version of iOS, and it applies only to the 13, 13 Pro, and Pro Max, and the 14, 14 Plus, 14 Pro, and Pro Max.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
There's this wonderful feature called portrait. And what I want to do is I'm going to try the eagle in portrait mode. And I'm going to change it to 1x. And now I'm going to see the little squares that point down here? It's adjusting the backlighting. So if I change it to there's what it looks like normally in portrait mode. If I go to stage lighting and I take the picture and I look at the picture, notice how it looks like there's a big beacon on the eagle and the whole background is pretty well blacked out. That's versus a picture of the eagle. Now, let me get, I certainly have taken enough pictures of that eagle versus that picture. So that's the picture non-portrait. That's the picture portrait. If you do that to a person, and I've done it to several people in my class, There's the eagle. There's me. There's my wife. There's the other bird. Notice the background in all these shots.
Mm. Wow.
Right? See, that's what I start with. I think I'm out of portrait. Okay? Make sense to everybody?
Yeah, that's great.
I suggest you play with that a little bit. It is really a fun feature. The key thing you need to do there is you're in your camera, you go to portrait mode, and then you see the little square appears there, and you adjust that. Stage light is the best one that I've found for the effect that I want, but you could play with the other ones. Studio light, natural light, black and white. Let's see what that one looks like. So that's that picture versus that picture. Well, let me make the same.
Oh, that's great.
Let me make the same. It was high key, light, black and white. Okay. Whoa. That one versus that one.
Wow.
So you can achieve all kinds of interesting effects with portrait mode.
Not have a person in my apartment to take one of them, but I was taking of something else, and it kept telling me that there's no person present.
There's no portrait, huh?
Yeah. And it didn't do any changing that I could see of what I was going to take a picture of, but it kept saying there's no person.
Then there's this thing called pano. Okay. And pano shows up like this, right? And what happens is you push the button and then you start moving your camera from left to right very slowly. You move too fast, it says slow down. You get off the line, it says put it back on the line. All right. And you go the whole, as far as you want, you go around. So it's great for landscape shots and things like that.
Now, how do you show it?
Well, I'll show you what it looks like when you get one. Because you just go to your camera. Here's one I took at Legoland. Here's one I took when I was in a hot air balloon.
If you take it vertically,
if you want to take it vertically, you can actually go up a building.
I've tried that. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing or not doing wrong.
Yeah, it should work.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I do it a lot when I have a whole line of people, like if we have a parade and they all stand in the front when they're done, and I go from first to last. It really is neat.
In my classes, I have somebody stand on one side. I don't have one of those pictures, do I? No. I have somebody stand on one side of the room, and I start with them, and I start moving around the room, and I have them walk around behind me and stand on the other side of the room. And by the time I scan over to that person is on the other side of the room. What your camera is doing is taking individual snapshots and pasting them together. So when I end up with this particular scenario, I have the same person in the same picture on the left and the right of the picture.
But the picture does not actually pan around.
No, you have to move the camera yourself.
But then when you're showing it, you just see the full extent of the panoramic picture you took. You don't see it panning. That's enough.
Right. If you go past 180 degrees, it stops. If you want to stop at, let's say, less than full panorama, push the button. And that's what happened in this picture, for example. Okay. In this picture you're looking at on the screen right now, I stopped right here because I was about ready to hit some people that were in the hot air balloon. So I didn't get the full panorama. In this one, I got the full panorama.
Amazing.
Make sense, everybody?
Yeah.
Now, as I said, I'll be sending you out a document that says iPhone Basics at the top, basic camera. It'll come out with the video for the class. So you can take a look at that. It has all the directions on each one of these things we've talked about.
Thank you. That's fabulous.
Thank you.
Isn't that, the camera is amazing. 4 men were in a hospital waiting room because their wives were having babies. A nurse goes up to the first guy, and says, "Congratulations, you're the father of twins." The man says, "That's odd. I work for the Minnesota Twins." The nurse says to the second guy,
Yeah.
right? And says, "Congratulations, you're the father of triplets." "That's weird," answered the second man. "I work for 3M. The nurse tells the third man, "Congratulations, you're the father of quadruplets." "That's strange," he answered. "I work for Four Seasons Hotel." The last man, groaning and banging his head against the wall. "What's wrong?" asked the nurse. "I work for 7-Up. All right.
Oh.
Get on that,
Think of the fame he had.
All right. Next week, we're going to talk about, and many of you were asking me questions about editing photographs, how to organize the photographs. Okay. And those 2 big subjects will be what we're covering next time when we talk about photos.
Wonderful.
Any questions?
Thank you for everything. Have a great week, everybody.
You too.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you very much.
Good week.
Thanks,
Hey,
Bill. Good class.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. Have a good week, everyone.